Yes, it's amazing atmosphere here, and as you said, there's just, you look around the ground and it's a buzz. The big march came down, there's people swinging those scarves above there. Great marketing initiative, and they made some noise when the Bombers came out onto the field. It promises to be a cracking night.
Well, I know that Michael Warner is in amongst the crowd tonight, and he's got the ground conditions for Cruder Plumbing and building maintenance, and they've been kicking goals for over 88 years. Welcome, Mickey.
G'day, boys. As you said, a great atmosphere down here. They're calling it the comeback game. Of course, those 12 players suspended by WADA, 7 of them are playing tonight, and it's a perfect evening for footy. Temperature still in the high 20s, no breeze at all, and I reckon we'll get about 70,000 in here. The starting bench is Andrew McGrath, the number 1 draft pick, Parrish, Stanton and Tippin Woody for the Bombers. And for Hawthorn, Hartung, Sicily, Langford and Henderson.
Lloydie and Bix, we look at the return of those suspended players, Watson, Stanton, Hooker, Hurley, Heppel, Collier, and then we look at Jared Roughead and we think about his story. I mean, there is some amazing stories that are going to unfold tonight.
Yeah, I think Jared Roughead is the biggest story of them all by a long, long way. Obviously, the Essendon players have been through a lot, but Jared Roughead, who would have thought 12 months ago that he'd not only come back and play, but be named the captain of the football club. It's phenomenal.
Yep, there's so many other stories as well, isn't there? There's Lewis and Mitchell, and obviously Luke Hodge in round 1, not there. It's been a long time since neither of those guys have represented the club. And then, of course, you got those other guys coming back. Job Watson, one of the spiritual leaders at Windy Hill, coming back, and he's going to have enormous support tonight. There's no doubt about that.
Hey, Carl, it was like in the rooms before the game, they showed vision of the Bombers players. It was like there was about 8 guys playing their first game, because I think it's been about 500 days for guys like Heppel and Watson, and they're hugging each other, saying good luck. There's so much emotion in this stadium tonight.
So Matty, how quickly do you think they can gel? I mean, are we going to see evidence of it tonight? Is it going to take half the season? What's your gut feel?
Well, it's one of the reasons I haven't got them in the 8, because I think it's going to take some time, and they're 3 JLT games. You know, take what of them what you like, but they haven't gelled for 4 quarters at all. They drift in and out of games. I think Heppel hasn't been the player in the 3 JLT games that he left with, because I think he just hasn't had that drive within him. So I think Watson looks good. He's a clearance player, but the rest of them will take some time.
Yeah, look, I thought Stuart Crameri took a bit of time to get into the game on Friday night, and of course been watching Paddy Ryder pretty closely over in Adelaide. First 2 games a little bit scratchy, but the last 2 he's been fantastic. So he's been able to make that transition fairly quickly. Let's hope the Essendon boys can do the same.
Now the toss of the coin is about to take place, and Ruffy looks like that he is going to call. The coin's in the air, lobs on the grass, and it is Essendon winning the toss, and they're going to kick to the punt road end of the ground. So Dyson Heppel winning that part of the game.
Yes, just having a look at what's happened already unfolded this weekend. What we've seen is a lot of teams kicking high scores at the moment. So every team that's won has got over 100 points. The Richmond Tigers got 20. Port Adelaide got 18, so we've seen a bit of a trend already towards higher scoring matches. Hopefully we see a bit more of that tonight.
Have you seen the Hawks? They had a really fast start against Geelong and fell in at the end. They then lost their next 2 games against North Melbourne and Port Adelaide, and I thought, well, they're on a road to nowhere. Then Port Adelaide have beaten Sydney already, so my tipping's already done for this round, boys.
Well, but I've been told that Clarko, in the first one in particular, doesn't want to show too much of his game style, so he's happy just to show things around. I think O'Meara's only going to get better. Obviously, he's looked pretty good. Vickery's still trying to find his place in this side. Ruffy, he's been out for so long, but you look at that forward line, Rufford and Gunston, with Piopolo, Bruce and Cyril at their feet, and I think that through the midfield they're going to have different names in there. Bix, how do you go about what sort of players will we see in there without Lewis and Mitchell in the side?
Well, when you go through their forward line, a bit like what the Bulldogs did, we saw Bob Murphy and Johannesson go forward. I think you'll find Piopolo, Rioli, Ruffhead even will spend some time in there. So that's been a bit of the trend so far through this year. The versatility of teams, they want to play their forward through the middle and keep speed on the game.
Well, a brief but lively preview for Metro Trains getting to the game with Metro this footy season. Michael Christian's going to kick us off here with a bounce.
Massive crowd in as we get underway. Hawthorn versus Essendon. 1 down by McKernan. Here's a chance for coming up to meet at Puopolo. Did very well at ground level. Was able to almost shovel it out, but gee, there's a big pack around. Eventually it spills out to Goddard, who is forced to play on. Quick little handball to Bagley, who kicks it up very high back towards the centre line. Off hands, here's a chance out wide. Coming to meet it, Collier gathers now. Good tackle on him. Handball to no one in particular. They're running on to Zach Merritt. Good handball inside to Heppel. Heppel to Ambrose. Look out, son. Bruce, the big tackle. Play on. Handball to Heppel. Now to Gleeson. Gleeson now with a smothered kick. And no, it's been paid. Mark taken by Zaharakis at half forward.
Kicks the ball deep inside the attacking 50. Was there a push over the back? An opportunity, and it's Hooker.
Free kick. Hawthorn free kick.
Tell you what, Luke Bruce went really low on the tackle and he just took his time getting up, a little bit shaken, so we'll keep an eye on Bruce.
I reckon he might be concussed. Keep an eye on him, Bix.
Yep.
Ball in Birchall's hands. He goes to his teammate in Isaac Smith on the defensive 50 for the Hawks. Looking to transition the play to half forward the kick. There's a contest. Schoenmakers out of it by Ambrose. Hand pass to Collier. He's got pace onto the left and he uses the ball well and he finds Watson, who gets the massive round of applause.
Centre wing, Jobe Watson drills the pass. Beautiful kick. Onto the chest of Zaharakis between centre and centre wing. Kick towards centre half forward. Danaher on the long lead. Gathered at ground level. Did brilliantly. Got the handball to Goddard. Handball off. Here's a chance for Kelly. And he hits his target. No, drop mark.
Paid it.
Oh, he's paid it to Fantasia. It was a beautiful kick. And it popped off the chest of Fantasia. But he did enough, said the umpire. And he'll go back from 40 metres slight angle to try and kick Essendon's first goal.
Oh, their skills have been electric so far tonight. What a pass from Watson to Zaharakis to open this play up. And this man, Fantasia, one of the most improved players in the competition, kicked 29 goals, 25 last year.
So from 40 metres, this will bring the house down. Fantasia almost directly in front to the punt road, and he's kicked it. And the Bomber fans appreciating the great work. Watson involved. Heppel's been busy early, and on the Chemist Warehouse scoreboard, the Bombers have the first goal of the match. They lead 1 straight 6. Hawthorn yet to score. We've played 2 minutes in this opening term on the Ray White clock. Let's get down to Mick Warner, who has an update on Nick Revolt, who went down with what looked to be a serious knee injury this afternoon.
Chris O, St Kilda have tweeted initial diagnosis positive. Structurally, doctors think it's pretty sound, so that is terrific news.
Fantastic.
That is the great news. Ball is back in the middle and about to be put down by umpire Nick Foote. And it's an ordinary bounce. It favours McAvoy. And it's let to play on. So it's Merritt. Hand pass Kelly, who was brilliant last season after he was out in the wilderness. Thought he was over. Kick by Ambrose now to the half-forward flank. Cutting the angle, knocking the ball down was Gibson. Opportunity now, Birchall to Gibson in the hands. And now from half-back, Mitchell. He kicks the ball towards half-forward. Gunston let it land at his feet. Kelly beats 2 Hawks. Hand passes the ball back. Now they can link up with some play. Goddard to Gleeson. Gleeson kicks the ball towards the middle of the ground. And down there is Green. Down from Brisbane, into the Essendon lineup to Collier. He'll cut inside on his right. Has he got a leading forward? He has, but leading sideways. The kick goes in the hooker direction. Can't grab it in, grabs it and snaps. What I think is going to be a goal. He's saluting the crowd. The umpire gives us the all clear. 2 straight to the Bombers.
I've got goosebumps here, Carl, because Cale Hooker, he wants to be the main man. He wants to be the key forward. He's had to sit back and wait. He set himself for such a big season last year. He wasn't able to play. And he just worked James Frawley under the ball. But Bix, what about the ball movement of the Bombers? They look so quick tonight.
Well, also they're really bold. A couple of times they've got it wide. They've cut straight back through the middle. They've taken a bit of a punt, but at the moment they've hit the target. The other thing up forward, they look like they've got a bit of an advantage in height. You look at Gibson's playing on Danaher at the moment, and you've got Hooker taking Frawley. You just wonder if they can get some one-out ball in there quickly. Danaher's always going to market the high one.
Well, that was an early goal of the day for the Pancake Parlour. And as I look across the Chemist Warehouse scoreboard, 2 straight 12. Fast start by the Bombers. We're only 4 minutes in.
Yeah, great start. McAvoy wins it wide, only as far as Merritt. Shovels the handball back to Gleeson. Handball to Hampel. Now further handball out to Kelly, who flicks it wide to Goddard. Right centre wing. Kick inside the attacking 50. Here comes Danaher. And Goddard hit him lace out. And Danaher will kick from just inside 50 on a 45-degree angle on the southern side of the ground.
How good James Kelly. Like, there's a lot of heat on in this game. You want your experienced players to stand up. He's had 4 possessions already. That's on the Southern Star stats.
They have so much energy at the moment. Everyone's behind them. For Joe Danaher, the one who's been wayward for so long, to nail this one, the crowd would go berserk.
Well, he comes in. Will this set the course of his season with his kicking? Drop punt, he's pulled it. And he has scraped it in for a behind. So not a great start there for Joe Danaher, but Bombers dominating 2-1-13. Hawthorn yet to score on the Chemist Warehouse scoreboard.
43-32. Joe Danaher last season. He's not the most accurate as the ball gets kicked back into play. McKernan with a big spoil. Knocks the ball down to the coal face. Heppel is in there. Was he taken high? I think he was. So free kick against O'Meara. And Heppel pushes back off the mark quickly. Here's the Bombers 2-1-13. The Hawks are yet to score. The ball's at the top of the square. Hooker in there hard. Fantasia tried to crash through the pack. He was well tackled by Gibson, and the ball we'd thrown up about 15 out from the Bombers' goal.
Some Southern Star stats just quickly. 35-7 disposals. They just cannot touch the ball, and 5 inside 50s to nothing.
And we are 6 minutes and 11 seconds officially into the match. The Hawks try to defend high in the air. Goddard, and he's taken the mark. He's only 35 out on a 45-degree angle.
Well, Danaher actually got that out of the ruck contest, and he tried to have a snap at goal, Lloyd, by the look of it. It came off the side of his boot, went back 30 metres, and Goddard was standing there.
Oh, he'll claim it.
Goal assist if he kicks it.
So he's against the clock. Goddard, down to 13 seconds. The umpire will give him the hurry up in a moment. 6.5 minutes in. It's been all the Bombers as Goddard moves in onto the right. It is floating away to the right, and only a minor score. 2-2 to nothing at the moment on a Chemist Warehouse scoreboard. 4
clearances to zip at the moment. That's in favour of the Bombers.
So Burgoyne at fullback for Hawthorn, under siege. What a star he's been, Sean Burgoyne. Kicks it wide, long, towards McAvoy. McKernan spoils, comes to Mitchell. Tried to get the handball through to O'Meara. Couldn't take it. Langford can. Handball to McAvoy. Handball back to Langford. Now to Mitchell. Left foot kick to the wing, and Roughhead in front takes the mark, opposed to Hurley. Now he wanders off the mark. Kicks with the left boot. High towards half forward. Coming out, Bruce. Clever use of the body on Gleeson. And he's marked right on the 50. At right half forward, angle 45 degrees. He's looking, eyes darting, looking for an option. Oh, he goes inboard. Mitchell wasn't expecting it to come his direction. He takes the mark. Handball off to Hartung, who kicks it very high towards full forward. It'll go past the goal line between the goal and point post for the first score of the evening to the Hawks. They have it behind Essendon, a 2-2. We've played 7 minutes.
Ball back in play. Stanton has the ball. He had to reach, but takes the mark. And he steadies for the Bombers, decides to square the ball back to Hartley, top of the goal square, the defensive goal square. He goes out to Kelly, who's been busy across half-back, the veteran. He kicks with the right boot towards Tip and Woody in amongst 3 Hawks. Can't quite get it. Oh, he gets it at ground level and he runs away. Has a bounce. Hand pass for Green, not great. Lets it bounce. Takes possession. Turns. Uses the ball brilliantly. Hits Danaher, who plays on and hooks a goal. Another goal of the day contender for the Pancake Parlour, open 24 hours at High Point, Doncaster and Melbourne East. Lovely. From the back line to the forward line for a result.
Once again, though, they were really brave. They did that kick through the middle. It looked like it was going to be turned over by the Hawks. It was 3-on-1, but it was Tip and Woody that won the contest. He contested in the air, won it on the ground, and then Green, I guess, showed real composure. He was running at goal on his opposite side and was just able to pull it back to Danaher. And you heard us all hold our breath because he played on and kicked it around his body from 15 metres out. Didn't get all of it, but it got it through the goal, which is all that matters.
This is not a sign of things to come, Matty, surely.
It is. That's what he's going to do this year, because he's probably more chance of kicking it that way than he is with a drop punt. But I'm looking for Cyril. They need a lift from someone. They're just too quick at the moment, the Bombers.
Chemist Warehouse scoreboard. Essendon now 3-2-20. Hawthorn are solitary behind from the centre. Well done, Goddard. Slipped it through. Beautiful fit to McKernan to Parrish. Kick inside, attacking 50 now. There's a whistle on play meantime. And it's coming back to Roughhead. Back in the centre.
Well, they were lucky there. They were away again, the Bombers. Good flicking around with the hands.
So 9 minutes played, and Essendon have dominated 3-2. Hawthorn a behind. Roughhead now decides to play on with the left boot. Thumps it long. It'll land about 20 metres from goal. They up and at him. Beautifully roved. No free kick. Oh, it was beautifully roved by Bruce. And it's an Essendon free kick, though.
Against Puopolo, it was?
Yeah, taken by McGrath, who handballs off to Hurley. Clean shaven, Michael Hurley. Back, handball to McGrath, back to Hurley. In the back pocket, looking for an option, looking for a way out. Kicks in the direction of Langford, had it fisted away by Stratton, but hands off hands, brilliantly rode by Collier. One bounce, a second, through the logo right centre wing. Handball to Parrish, left foot is battered down, spills to Bruce. Well done, handball to Langford. Handball's now out in front of Stratton, who did very well, to Isaac Smith. Short kick towards Vickery, who hasn't looked like getting involved yet, and well done by Hartley, boosting it over for a boundary throw between wing and half forward for the Hawks. but they're in some trouble, early trouble. Hawthorn are behind Essendon, a 3-2.
Well, they need a goal. It's on their half-forward flank. McKernan reaches over the top of Vickery, who gets it onto his boot after winning it at ground level, and there is a free kick. It'll go the way of Vickery, who was dealt with after he got rid of the ball by McKernan, who's being a little bit zealous. You've got to be careful. You give away 50 for nothing these days. So Vickery from about 80 metres out is going to kick the ball to about 30. And it's a big contest, and it's destroyed by a bomber. And now they converge on the ball. Shields first to it for the Hawks. He can't take possession. Stanton now does and is immediately tackled. And inside the attacking 50 for the Hawks, the ball will be thrown up.
A contested possession, 13-8 in favour of Essendon. I think they have to win that area, Hawthorn. They have to beat Essendon at the coalface. Otherwise, the Bombers will run them off their legs tonight.
Saturday night footy here on 3AW for KFC's $2.50 chips and gravy. Finger licking good as the ball is outside defensive 50 for the Bombers for the moment. Shields pushes off Langford. Goal, and he's drilled it. That is a great goal of the day contender right there for the Pancake Parlour, and that's probably the best one of the night.
No doubt about that. That is an amazing goal there by Shield. He was about to be tackled. He jumped off the ground to take the ball, and as he hit the ground, as he was about to be tackled, he just used the don't argue, pushed off, and actually gave him some momentum and actually pushed him off. He spring-bounded off the tackle. Took 2 or 3 steps to gain his balance again, and then running flat out was able to drag it back, pretty tight angle, and got it through for a goal. So Liam Shields, that's an important one for the Hawks. It just lets them settle a bit.
Hey Bix, can you take the pace off a game often when you're at the Crows? You know, the Bombers love the fast, sort of speedy game. Can Hawthorn try to get that out of the game in a sense?
Well, I think it's more about territory. If they can get it in their front half, they can get their defence set behind it, then they can lock it in for a period of time.
So Bombers up by 13 on the Chemist Warehouse scoreboard. Comes to Merritt from the centre bounce. Couldn't control it. Soccer forward by Watson. Comes to Hartung. Missed the handball target. Going back to Duray. Now he handballs wide as he gathered to Frawley. Kick around the body to the wing. In the way, Merritt. Handball off quickly to Hurley. Driving quick. McDonald, Tippin Woody is up at the back. Hooker, he's got it in the pocket. He's well tackled by Sicily. The ball not coming out. Eventually it does. Gibson with an opportunity. Handball's batted down by Fantasia, who snaps with the left boot. He was under pressure. He snapped it through for a behind, missing to the near side. So 3-3 now the Bombers. Hawthorn are 1-1. The margin 14 points on the Chemist Warehouse scoreboard. Discover the new fragrance Diesel Bad, available now at Chemist Warehouse.
Ball kicked it deep by Stratton towards the wing position. It stumps, goes into the corridor. Rioli hooks the ball out to the wing, and he'll find Mitchell, who has a couple of metres. He has held up for too long. Needed to move the ball quickly. Instead, there's a short option, and it's Gunston, who is on the right wing.
Carl, I just thought Cyril had the chance there. There was one-on-ones down the corridor. Yeah, 2 players, just with Essendon opponents. He needed to go, and he went sideways.
Gunston goes back to Sicily, who switches the play. He's got Frawley, who waits, hand passes the ball to Birchall, and now he is held up. And he just decides to kick it long with the left towards the attacking 50. Bruce is the target. Well done by Gleeson. Got his boot to the ball as he was falling to ground. Then picked up and hand passed in the Stanton direction by Andrew McGrath, playing his debut match, and he's expected to be a player that can play through the midfield. McGrath
got some wheels too from all reports.
Good decision maker as well. He just 38 disposals he had in the TAC Cup Grand Final. O'Meara just the 1 touch so far.
Hawthorn up by 14 points. Played 14 minutes in this opening term at the MCG. 1 down to Mitchell, who hoists it high with the left boot. Will land 30 from goal. Bruce went up too early. Ball to the back. Here's a chance for Gunston. Gave it really tapped to Rioli, who runs into the open goal. Now a couple of steadiers for the Hawks. Essendon kicked the opening 3 goals of the match. Hawthorn responded with the last 2, and on the Chemist Warehouse scoreboard, Hawthorn moved to 2-1-13. Essendon 3-3-21. We've played 15 minutes on the Ray White clock opening term.
Yeah, look, that's the thing about the Hawks, isn't it? They've got such potency in their forward line. You just get it forward. They've gone through a couple of times, and it's Bruce up there. It's Gunston. Now it was Rioli that time. The ball went over the back. That was the error that the Bombers made. Didn't keep it to the front, and Rioli, as devastating as always, was always going to be first back onto it and kicked an easy goal.
Just the Bombers JLT form. They gave up a huge lead against Collingwood in the first one, but they took their players off. The second game, they kicked the first 5 goals against the Gold Coast, then lost the lead at quarter time, and then blew it against Geelong, so they just get drift in and out of games.
It's back to 8 points. Chemist Warehouse scoreboard in favour of the Bombers, and it is going to be the Hawks again. Gibson kicking the ball towards the half-forward flank. A bouncing ball away from McGrath and Shields, who are in a foot race, and neither can keep the ball in play. It is out. 3-3-21 to 2-1-13. We're approaching the 16-minute mark. Earlier tonight, it was Port Adelaide defeating Sydney, and Melbourne too good for the Saints. They join Richmond and the Western Bulldogs so far in round one in the winner's circle as Mitchell kicks the ball forward for the Hawks. Underneath it is Hartley. He was almost spoilt by his own teammate Ambrose. Hand pass Puopolo to Mitchell, but he lost it. Again, the Bombers gain control. Heppel put Ambrose under pressure, and the ball is going to come back to Heppel, who was held on to for too long in the tackle. He then kicks the ball long to the wing position, and out there with an opportunity is Langford. He hand passed the ball back to Zaharakis, loops the ball over the top for his teammate Parrish. Parrish onto the boot to Watson, falls in short, and a backward tap by Sicily finds the boundary.
Inspector Gadget Man, something we saw from Fletcher for many, many years. And Cyril just caught one, hip and shoulder. Looks like a bit of a blood nose there.
So Essendon deep into attack. Boundary throw in, right forward pocket. McAvoy, McKernan. McAvoy, beautiful little tap though. Watson almost had an opportunity. Well done, Hawthorn. Gets it out to Birchall. Threads it through to Henderson. Now a handball to Shields with the left boot. He kicks back towards the wing. Fisted away by the Essendon midfield. Now fisted forward by Bagley. Ends up with Ambrose. Spills it wide towards Standen. Fumbled a couple of times then, Standen. And the ball is eventually over. Boundary throw in at right half forward. Now T in the cricket, first day of the 5th test, and Australia in trouble. 6 for 208. Smith has been dismissed for 111. And another brittle middle order performance by the Australians in India.
Imagine if we didn't have him. Ball's tossed back into play as O'Meara working for the Hawks on the defensive 50s. Hand pass goes out of bounds. Now Standen wants to deliver it. The umpire says no way. So I'll throw it in.
Yep, the Bombers won the first 4 clearances. We talked about how quickly they got out of the blocks. Well, I can tell you the Hawks have won the last 8. So they started to get their hands on around the stoppage, and then that's enabled them to go forward a bit more regularly.
Beautiful conditions. Balmy tonight. One of the warmest March nights I've ever experienced over here as Merritt hand pass the ball. Heppel kicks inside 50, but it is Sicily standing in the road. Kicks the ball across the face of the defensive goal into the path of Gibson, who lets it bounce, then takes control onto his favourite left. He looks to the corridor, then decides to go down the line on the wing, and he finds his teammate Schoenmakers, who dropped the mark but recovers at ground level, uses Shields. Now there's a chance to go inside 50, and the ball is in the hands of Cyril Rioli, and he's a dead-eye dick. 47-13 last season, already won from point-blank range tonight. He's not expected to miss from here.
Yeah, we'll probably jinx him here, Carl, but I agree with you. I think he's the best set shot for goal in the competition now. He's absolutely brilliant, and he's the traditional way, Chris. So he just goes back and slots them, keeps them nice and low. But this has been a great turnaround from Hawthorn.
It's a sign of a great football team, isn't it? To be able to absorb that initial pressure and then respond the way they have.
They weathered the storm, didn't they?
Oh.
Cyril!
Oh, no.
He has shanked it incredibly badly just for a left footer when we've set him up beautifully. He has let us down. So Essendon 3-3-21 on the Chemist Warehouse scoreboard, and the Hawks moved to 2-2-14, and we got 19 minutes in the first quarter here at the G.
So that was a beautiful kick too, coming in by Duray, beautifully weighted to the advantage of Rioli. Now the Bombers get it to the back pocket to Bagley. Kick not great, well done. Duray again involved. Mitchell couldn't quite get it clear. Langford picks it up. Handball was battered down. Now Parrish over the footy, spills out to Puopolo. He was tackled, lost possession. Now on hands and knees, well done. Chance for O'Meara, threads it wide. Eventually it spills back to Sicily. Shocking kick in the direction of Gunston. He couldn't control it. Charging through Ambrose. Only as far as Hooker, picked up by Langford. A wild old kick as it covered the distance. Oh, Roughhead has marked and he's been paid. It was barely the 15. That's got to be a mark of the day contender for Robot Building Services. And the big rough will go back. Kick from 40. And no angle to speak of.
I was just watching the Yarra Valley Toyota replay, and it was Heppel and Mitchell were shoulder to shoulder. They were both jockeying, trying to get body position, and Roughhead just had a free jump, came over the top, and in the end took a pretty good mark. Watch the Hawthorn cheer squad there, directly behind the goals. Ruffy's kicking straight at him.
So the captain comes in, kicks from 40, drop punt. Oh, he's pulled it. He's pulled it a long way. In fact, it just scrapes in. So a couple of gilt edge opportunities missed there by the Hawks. One by Rioli, one by Roughhead, but they do narrow the margin on the Chemist Warehouse scoreboard to 6 points. 3-3 plays, 2-3 Bombers in front.
Well, he didn't play last season, but in 2015 he kicked 50-34, so he just evens up that percentage a little bit more. At half back, the Bombers. Hand pass to Heppel. He wheels boundary side and then he turns the ball over. He should be pinged for holding the footy. And he wasn't. So it's play on. Hand pass comes back to Goddard, who he kicks down the line in the direction of Green, who pats the ball down for Fantasia. He goes to Zaharakis. He's got some running room. He has a bounce, then gives it off to his teammate, who kicks the ball towards the goal square. Darcy Parish, it's open, it bounces. And it's away to the left and a point to the Bombers.
What they've done really well, the Hawks, the last 10 minutes is they've just denied the Bombers space, and they've turned into a scrap, and it's really suiting Hawthorn.
Kick comes into Gibson, handball off to Sean Burgoyne. He kicks it very wide in the direction of Bruce, but well done McGrath, the first game up. He cut the angle, got in front and fisted over for a boundary throw in on centre wing in front of the Great Southern Stand.
Got a touch of the Angus Monfries about him in the Essendon jersey when you have a brief look at him.
So a boundary throw in, 3-4 plays 2-3. Essendon by 7 points. Up Danaher, wins it down. Henderson, gathered the ball and then stuck the feet up. Now he's well tackled. The umpire says he had no prior opportunity and will ball it up. A couple of metres in from the boundary line on the Great Southern Stand. Let's get to Mick Warner.
Cyril Rioli off for the Corky boys, and also interesting, Al Clarkson now coaching from the bench.
Thank you, Mick. Ball tossed up on the wing. Hand pass over the top. Hartung, hand pass to Vickery. He toe poked it forward. Big Vickery, and it might lob all right. In fact, he couldn't drag it in. Good little Popolo, and the ball is out of bounds.
Interesting that Schoenmakers is doing the ruck duty as the second ruckman, yet Vickery is still playing as a forward. You would have thought he would have been the first one they went to back up the ruck.
Mark Bickley with Matthew Lloyd in special comments tonight, and Michael Christian and me, Carl Langdon, calling the action for you. Saturday night footy here at the G. Isaac Smith tackled by Heppel. Now Jaeger O'Meara, who has yet to get into the game. He's pretty cold so far in this match.
Yeah, he's had, the 5 disposals, and just on the Yarra Valley Toyota replay, they just flashed to Luke Hodge in the stats box there. He'll be hoping they win tonight, otherwise Clarko might come after him.
Vickery, and Vickery has given away a infringement in the ruck contest, so Danaher, and he gives it a spiral, but it's an ugly one. It's a helicopter.
Lands to centre half forward, and it spills to the back. Green all by himself from 50, vacant goal square, and he hooks it and misses everything. We'll get a boundary throw in, left forward pocket. So another golden opportunity there, this time for Green, and he couldn't convert from just inside 50. So a boundary throw in, Essendon deep into attack, left forward pocket. Vickery comes in, fists it away, and a free kick. It's Essendon. It's an Essendon free kick.
I don't think
McInerney.
They didn't get the ruckman right. I don't reckon Vickery got there in time, and so another Hawthorn player must have been nominated as the ruckman, and it's been an infringement.
Well, so the free kick's coming back to Hooker, and he'll kick from 25 metres, and no real angle to speak of. So Cale Hooker should kick his second. He kicks into Vickery, and the man on the mark. That was comical. And Hawthorn can bring it away. Handball comes to Hartung, who kicks it high back towards the wing. Well done by McAvoy. Palms effectively to Rioli, who jams it on the right boot. Bounces it towards half forward. Little fumble from Bruce. Quick to recover. Handball to Langford. Kept the arms clear. Then half wobbles it towards half forward, just inside attacking 50. Bagley, now Heppel. Heppel lost the handle.
Has to be.
And it's over for a boundary throw. No, I think you just a handling error there, Matthew.
All right.
So a boundary throw in, right forward pocket for the Hawks, about 25 metres around from their goal. Hawthorn 2-3. Essendon 3-4, margin 7 on the Chemist Warehouse scoreboard.
Even Lloydie, who has every right to be biased, was questioning that one. As the ball is tossed in, McAvoy knocks it down. Now it's an opportunity for Watson. Threads a hand pass back for Danaher. He was well tackled. Picked up now by Langford. He's dragged down, and inside the attacking 50 for the Hawks will be thrown up.
Just some pressure's been picked up now. We saw Puopolo win a 1-on-3 before. Now they've locked it in their front half.
7-point lead to the Bombers. Chemist Warehouse scored. Ruffy has a snap. Doesn't go the distance. And defensive goal square. It's marked by Bagley. He plays on immediately. In the back pocket he goes. finds his teammate who boots the ball outside the defensive 50. It's McGrath. Now an opportunity at ground level. What can the Bombers do? Not much. Birchall was in there trying to turn the footy over. The players dive on the ball. It comes out. Heppel hand pass back. Zach Merritt, who was brilliant last season, floats a kick forward, but it's marked by Gibson on the turnover.
Yeah, and Gibson now kicks laterally into the corridor. Mark taken by Henderson. Former Crow. Now he's a little undecided, so he kicks again laterally to left centre wing, and the mark's taken by Stratton. So Stratton called to play on, confronted now by Fantasia. A little twisting and turning, then kicks back. Again laterally to centre half back to Burgoyne, who marks and kicks back to Frawley. So he's got it right centre wing. In fact, just backward to right centre wing. So James Frawley called to play on, drives it long, down the line. Big fist from Heppel over the top. He was third man up in a contest that involved Merritt and Roughhead. He did well. And we'll get a boundary throw in at right half forward for the Hawks. Hawthorn 2-3-15. Essendon 3-4-22. The Bombers kicked the first 3 goals of the match, but Hawthorn have hit back. The margin is 7.
Joe Watson, Carl, just 3 disposals, so had a slow start, the ex-captain.
Goddard, he went across then to Merritt, who's being tagged by Langford. He had hold of him, a nice firm grip, so he gets himself another possession. Will be number 8. Heppel's the leader with 10 so far in the match. 8 to Mitchell for the Hawks, and Tommy Mitchell stepping into where Sam left, I suppose. At that rate, he'll end up with 40.
And Barry.
And Carl Hooker on the bench. Is there a bigger sin in football than that? Kicking to the man on the button?
Not 15 metres out.
I did tell you he wasn't the most reliable in front of goals, Lordy. 21-21 a couple of years ago, and he had a bit of a crack up forward as Langford wings the ball on the wing. He kicks the ball high up towards the half-forward flank. Vickery in the contest. Gunston, he's one of the best patters of the ball. Down to Puopolo. Bruce on the burst. He had it knocked out of his grasp. Hartley then has it knocked out of his. Good tackling. Isaac Smith, very well tackled. Couldn't get to his boot. Then Rioli lays a perfect tackle, and the ball is held up underneath players. You think the umpire will throw it up here, 40 out from the Hawks' goals.
Isaac Smith, they'll need so much from him now with no Mitchell and also no Jordan Law. So he's made a slow start. Yeah, only 2 disposals. Collier right on top in that matchup.
28 played in this first term. Comes to McGrath, who jammed it on the boot and kicked it as a consequence out on the full. Thought he was under more pressure than he was. So free kick to Burgoyne, too far out to score, about 70 metres from goal. Right half forward in front of the MCC members stand. He drives it long. It'll land 20 from goal. No one can take the mark. Shields did brilliantly, got the handball to Langford, who tried to get a toe poke on it. Desperate stuff from Bagley, who socketed it off the ground from the goal square, and it lands on the chest of Fantasia. So fortuitous there, the Bombers. He kicks intelligently to Kelly, and Kelly has taken the mark between wing and half-back on the southern side of the ground. He's got an option inboard, Zaharakis. He honours that, and Zaharakis marks just backward. Point of the square at right half back. He kicks back towards fullback. Mark taken by Stanton, who switches the play to McKernan on defensive 50 at left half back. He kicks now towards Merritt, who takes the mark near centre wing.
Both runners out there sending the message, under 2 minutes to play. So we might see a little bit of a change in the way they play. Not here as Gleeson runs. He kicks long to the top of the square. Over the back. Fantasia gets the bounce and gets the goal. Goal of the day for Pancake Parlour, open 24 hours at High Point, Doncaster and Melbourne East. Absolutely lovely, and a lovely finish.
Yep. Once again, it was the braveness to go back through the middle. It was Merritt that brought it back there and kicked into the centre of the ground. And Luke Bruce had a chance. He had to go up and he had a chance to compete, and he committed the cardinal sin. Not only did he impact the ball in the air, but when he fairly lost his feet, and it was Essendon who ran away with it, kicked it long. Good contest in the air.
Fantasia has 2, Essendon have 4. They're 4-4-28 on the Chemist Warehouse scoreboard. The Hawks are 2-3-15. 29-29 gone with a minute and a half to play in the quarter.
Jared Roughhead just put the arm around Bruce, like a good captain. He just said, don't worry about it, win your next contest.
So ball back in the centre. And the Bombers have started the 2017 season with much zest. Taken though by Langford on this occasion, through a couple of legs in towards the path of Schoenmakers, bumped off it by Ambrose, coming to meet at Vickery. Handball to Schoenmakers, immediately tackled by Merritt. His kick was blocked by Ambrose. Now it spills back to Merritt. His handball is straight, taken by Schoenmakers. Handball to Bruce, 70 from goal. Kick with the left boot. Rioli, where is he? Not anywhere in that contest. Fisted away. Chance now for Parrish at centre half back. He drives it wide into the path of McDonald, Tip and Woody. He's got a foot race here with Burgoyne. Burgoyne does very well, keeps with him. Oh, Tip and Woody almost was able to gather it, and he's been pinged.
Oh, no.
He's been pinged. He socketed it from about 2 metres over the line. kick coming to Hawthorn for deliberate out of bounds.
Great effort by Burgoyne. No, he almost went stride for stride. I thought he'd get dragged off for sure. Ball's been kicked forward. We've got no time for breath here. Mitchell picks up the ball, delivers to the attacking 50, just too far for Smith. Taken by Bagley. Hand pass knocked down by Smith. Opportunity for Kelly, no. Ball out of bounds.
Isn't he just trying to control the ball in front of him? We saw one last night as well. I just don't feel sometimes the umpires have the right feel of the game when they pay these deliberate out of bounds.
It was actually attacking.
Yeah.
He wanted to keep it in. He would have been running towards goal if he had have kept it in. Why would he knock it out?
Give Matthew Nichols 8 games, I reckon. Maybe 9, eh? He's got 2 this weekend for the first time in history. Ball kicked in play. Bagley underneath it takes a gutsy mark. Mark of the day there for Robot Building Supplies. Got it. All your building supplies they have. That was a great effort.
Yeah, he's going well, isn't he, Bagley? He's a vastly improved player and 7 possessions tonight.
So it was a high ball that he dragged in on his chest, but it was standing underneath it and waiting as Birchall takes the responding mark from the kick. So turnover footy. We've got 7 seconds on the clock as... Oh, that was a quick 7 seconds. Said 7 up there. Yeah. Well, that's quarter time here at the MCG. Saturday night footy here on 3AW for KFC's $2.50 chips and gravy, finger licking good. And it is Essendon 4-4-28 to the Hawks 2-3-15. Goal kickers so far in the game. Fantasia has 2. Joe Danaher and Cale Hooker have 1 each for the Bombers. And for Hawthorn, it is Liam Shields and Cyril Rioli with 1 each. We'll clear some commitments. We'll come back after that and we'll hear what they've thought of the first quarter of play. Mark Bickley and Matthew Lloyd will take us through what has unfolded. As we go to the break, it is Essendon leading by 13 points on the Chemist Warehouse scoreboard.
Footy highlights for Vic Super. Get super active with Vic Super.
Fantasia almost directly in front to the punt road and he's kicked it.
The kick goes in the hooker direction. Can't grab it in. Grabs it and snaps it.
I've got goosebumps here, Carl.
Uses the ball brilliantly. Hits Danaher. Who plays on and hooks a goal. Shields pushes off Langford. Hooks a goal and he's drilled it.
Ball back, here's a chance for Gunston. Gave it really tapped to Rioli, who runs into the open goal.
As Gleeson runs, he kicks long to the top of the square. Over the back, Fantasia gets the bounce and gets the goal. Well, there you go. Some highlights out of that first quarter of play. Fantasia featuring strongly. He's the leading goal kicker in the game with 2 goals. And we welcome you back to the MCG Saturday night footy for KFC's $2.50 chips and gravy. Finger licking good. 4-4-28 the Bombers. And Hawthorn are 2-3-15 for their thoughts on the first quarter of play. Matthew Lloyd and Mark Bickley.
Oh, the Bombers just came out all guns blazing, Carl. And... they get the game on their terms. They're one of the most dangerous sides in the comp, I think. We saw that in the JLT as well against Geelong, where they're up by 40 points. And I thought, they arrested back control there, Hawthorn, but I just love the pace of Merritt, Fantasia, McDonald, Tippenwoody, Collier. It was a real issue, and Parrish for the Hawthorn Football Club, but they got their game back, and then it was a real arm wrestle late in that quarter, and then for Fantasia to kick the final goal. I think they deserve this 2-goal lead, Bix, that the Bombers have got at quarter time.
Yep, no doubt. And you can put Green in there as well. They've looked dangerous. When the ball's hit the ground within about 50 or 60 metres from goal, they actually had a couple of other opportunities they didn't make the most of. But I've been most impressed with the way, I guess, the adventure they've used the ball. They've always looked back towards the middle and they've pulled the trigger on the kick, and that's paid really good dividends for them. The Hawks are interesting because they got blown away at the start. They steadied through the middle and they just showed what they can do. But just looking at the Southern Star stats, still a couple of guys they'll be looking for a bit more from. Puopolo's just had the 2 possessions, Gunston's had 2, and Isaac Smith only had the 3 possessions. I think it's important. He's an important player for him. He runs and carries through the middle of the ground. So they've still got some upside, the Hawks, but the Bombers, very impressive first up.
Australia 6 for 208 in the cricket, and in the A-League, Melbourne victory 0, Brisbane Raw 0. So those scores will keep you up to date with, and we've got another game of AFL footy which is going to get underway from Metricon Stadium. It is the Gold Coast Suns and the Brisbane Lions. So we'll keep you up to date here on 3AW footy, but we're about to get underway in the second quarter of play.